carry on with life.
Hey guys, they uploaded, so we're good to go. Cool.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today, day 5, is we're going to tackle the hardest problem first. As last week, we've narrowed down on the project that we're going to do, and it's a KYC project. Know your customer or know yourself, either way. Today, we're going to upgrade the OCR extraction process. OCR is optical character recognition. That's where you take an image and you try and extract text from an image. So the whole idea is to try and get the guy's ID number off of a copy of his ID card or the passport or any other document. But I'm not quite happy with the quality of the extraction. Some uploads don't quite extract well. So I'm just wanting to upgrade this process at least so that we get nice details. Does anyone know how to extract better details from images?
Nope. Did you look up what's it, Mr. Z, MRZ? Or is that
MRZ.
already? Yeah, is that already implemented from it's the back of your ID? We did it on the last session, if I'm not mistaken. MRZ.
I think it's like that.
That's so that is it, but it's also the barcode, that scrambled thing that's on the back of your license or on your ID. That thing is MRZ.
This thing. Oh, but that quality is that quality is terrible. I can try. No, it just got some random numbers.
Those numbers are at the top.
Yeah, it's just got the random numbers there. Okay, so I was thinking we should use an LLM. So it's one of those AI models. And to do that, this guy's busy thinking. Yes?
Okay, I'm not sure if this will help, right? But then I've tried to build like a tool, right, where it audits like receipts, right, for like businesses, and then it does like it moves the data, like it bookkeeps the data, right? And how I did it was that I used an LLM, right? The DeepSeek ones were like the cost-effective ones, but the good ones was from Gemini. And then what it does is it scans the image, and then it extracts like the information that like you needed to extract, and then you can also verify. It's not always accurate, so I can say it's like 98% accurate. So you also need to put in some mechanisms for when it hallucinates. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this guy is thinking too much. I did prepare just a quick prompt that will help us. What I'm asking it is to create a fast API endpoint. Fast API is a Python framework to create APIs with. It's a popular Python framework, and most coding agents should know what it is, and they should know how to implement it for you. And OpenRouter is a LLM API aggregator. They've got access to a whole bunch of services. For example, there's a whole range they've got access to. Some of them specialize in text only. Some of them specialize in, for instance, image and text. Some are audio, video, embeddings. But what I'm looking for is specifically image input and text output. It does cost some money, but you can also filter to get the free ones. What's nice about OpenRouter is that when you load at least $10 onto your account, you have 1,000 requests on the free models that you can execute per day. So that's quite nice if you want to experiment with different models. Right. So this is busy figuring out what to do. So once that's up and running, we can test it, see what data comes back, and then incorporate it onto the OCR page, onto this page. Or we should make a second test page, actually, so that we can compare the quality between the two. And then once we have that, we can start with setting up Forge. Forge is what we'll use to create the smart contract with. That will help us to do the KYC encryption and storage. Any questions so far?
I'm just curious if you want any of those ID samples or passport samples.
I've got some of these samples, but I don't quite want to dox anyone. But if you want to test it with your ID, you can screenshot it and well, you can take a photo or scan of it and just hide your face.
Yeah, no, it's fine. No, it's one of those complicated things, eh? But like, I don't know, when it comes to identity protection, it's one of those things. So did you know that in South Africa, if you don't have DEBI mandate, or which is the thing that gives banks, you have to give the bank approval to start a debit order on your account. Someone has your bank account details, like you're pretty much cooked. So there's a whole bunch of stuff around ID as well, where it's just, it's not a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, so it's done something.
Cool.
We did OCR API. Let's see. Okay. Here's a little app.
So what you were saying there is basically they're not liable for fraud. Is that the idea?
So it depends on what you're doing, but we've got like really good protections in place. So one of the funny things, like comparing us, and I don't know about the credit cards and cards and stuff that you do, but like our banks did a lot of crazy stuff to actually stop us. Like we were like decades ahead with like chip and pin. A lot of the stuff just like came in that protected us, but not all the banks did all the things that they were supposed to. So with the DEBI mandates, it basically anyone can start a debit order, like withdrawal transaction, a monthly withdrawal transaction off my account, unless I'm with a bank that actually has this thing called debit mandates installed on their system, and that means I have to approve every single debit order. But once it's approved as well, it's also hard to take off. But you can take it off, like on the apps. Whereas with other ones, you can't really take it off, and they just can drain your money, and then you have to like go to the bank and fight and complain. The same is true with cards. So if I'm not mistaken, if you use a Visa card, when you destroy your card, it's gone. You know what I mean? You go to the bank, you cancel it, it's done. But with MasterCard, if you do, some of the banks that you can, some of the businesses that you sign up to with MasterCard, they actually can go past the card itself and actually debit directly from your account. So even if you give them a card and you go and cancel your card, I had this problem with Clay or something. And I signed up to it because I wanted to test out something on ChatGPT a long time ago. And I couldn't figure out where this debit order was coming from. And I tried to sign into Clay, I tried to do all these funny things, and I just couldn't figure it out. So I just canceled my card. And luckily it didn't affect me, but yeah, you know what I mean? It could just go on indefinitely unless you can eventually sign out somehow or close your bank account, which is quite scary. Yeah, it's the recurring $10 or $13 or something. It was just like debiting me. I'm like, what is this? I don't know. So yeah, it was annoying.
Okay, so that guy's busy running.
So I'm curious because if you had to pull like a piece of code, because I found an MRZ extractor on the internet, like how would you review it to make sure it's not going to drain your crypto funds?
How would using the LLM drain your crypto funds?
No, so if I give you a repo for another project, because you know there's this common scam now where they're like recruiters come around and they're like, hey, you look really cool. Like we want you to test some stuff out.
Yeah,
And
I've seen those incidents.
yeah, they try to get me. They didn't get me, but they're like they try to get like someone else like a few weeks ago. So they are alive and kicking with that scam still. So
Yeah, no, I think maybe just use a virtual desktop.
fair enough. But if you're gonna pull something off of a and then try and integrate that code into your tool, like would you do it? Would you first review it? Like what would you do?
I would probably check it out first. I mean, read it. Or I would actually point ChatGPT. I would point that to it, and then have it interpret the code.
Okay.
Maybe even download it as a zip file and then upload it to ChatGPT to extract and analyze.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's pretty safe.
That's one way to do it. Or you can just depends on what's in it. Maybe even as far as using a virtual desktop, download the zip file from the repo, the whole repo,
Yeah,
and then using something like Codex or Gemini or Claude to run through the code
that works.
and let them sort it out instead of you taking a chance on something.
Yeah. No, what I do is I have a test server. So I just have like an AWS server and then I just run everything there and see what happens.
Yeah. No, for us normies, I'll just take a GPT and send it.
Okay, fair enough. Dude, you more advanced than AWS than I am, so like it's not fair. But I don't know, I found virtual machines kind of suck when it comes to crypto. Like they don't actually do what they're supposed to do. Like if you don't have like, I think it's like 6 gigs in most instances of RAM, like you can't actually compile smart contracts and stuff like that.
Oh, no. What I changed. Okay, cool. So there's got the whole bunch. So I've added in MRZ extraction to the LLM call as well. So let's test one of these. So this example here, this MRZ, going to test that image with the API call. You can tell Codex or Claude or Gemini or any of those agents to do testing for you. So you don't have to try and do it yourself if you don't know how to test the API. You can just ask it to test it. And it will complain because I did not give it doesn't have this is fine, don't worry. Okay. It's busy installing the environment. And then executing the API. Oh, it's found something. Let's see. Sometimes these agents think too long.
Yeah, that's a long time, man.
Okay. Jane. Sure. Okay. James, Jane. No. I don't know what one is for. Nationality. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's way more detailed than the other one. Than this extraction. Because here we have to move around. So this extraction, that's just background text. So we got that, and 1964, I don't think so. Oh, or maybe.
No, it looks right.
Oh. Oh. 1964, Jan, date of birth. Oh, I didn't get the name. Couldn't get the name out of it. Okay. This API to use that to try to get file. Okay. Or the new thread. Is forge. We'll try 6. Okay. Usually at this time during hackathon, you're sweating bullets because the end time is getting closer. You have to start thinking about your demo, start thinking about what you're going to present.
Based on what you built, are you creating some of that stuff now, or are you just working on once you have a final solution, or once you've reached a point of no return? Do you just stop and build a demo, irrespective of whether it's working or not working, or do you just like figure out how to make it work?
No, I have to make it work. There's no turning back. If you've gotten over halfway, there's not really much time to change direction or change course. That's why it's important to have a strong planning session before you start coding. Either by yourself, if you're working solo, or in your team, you have to cross-check everyone or with everyone. Because the last thing you want is to restart, unless if you restart on a smaller, a smaller project, then it might be okay. But sometimes I would work in Codex on something, and then I'll use Gemini for something else, because tokens is expensive, Okay, so this one is starting with Foundry. It's got Foundry up and running. Okay, standard test, jump. Okay.
Just to offer my 2 cents while he's working on that. Might help if you're able to give a format, so you can kind of subdivide the team. Certain guys are doing this part, certain guys are doing,
Yes,
the brief
yes.
for the presentation, right? Because not everybody's going to have the tech skills on the team, right? You know what I mean? So they can start working on things before it's all finalized.
Yeah.
And then maybe revamp if necessary, you know what I mean? But having that format, you know what I mean? I think that would be helpful, you know what I mean? Like what are the 3 to 5 sections, you know what I mean? Subdivisions, you know what I mean? And then, right from the jump, you figure out who's where, you know what I mean? And then everybody starts saying, okay, well, I need this or I need that in order to, do my part of it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, sorry, not to you. I'll let you focus on what you're doing.
Fair enough, but it depends really what everyone's strength is. Like, what I mean? If you're coming in from a technical side and you want to provide that component, but if you have non-technical people that
Right.
are providing more of the research, or they can present and be working on other things, then it makes sense.
Yeah. So
but I
the
think,
idea is that you want to be able to give them options right from the jump. You know what I mean? So you know where people fit in. You know what I mean? Like, are you the
yeah,
marketing guy? Are you the storyteller? Are you the UI UX guy? Are you coding? You know what I mean?
but
Because
generally it's not
not
but
everyone's gonna
generally
have.
what they do is it would generally be divided amongst front end, back end, Web3. Then if you want an AI component, you'd have an AI person. If like that's the general
Mhm.
methodology that I've seen a lot of other developers focus on, where they each have a designated area, and then
Yeah.
they focus on that area to build whatever is needed. But also the problem comes in is it's like kind of unevenly weighted, because you may have someone that's got front end and they done, and then they are just waiting around, and then they also get redeployed on other stuff. And that's, I guess, is where that secondary component that you were talking about was, if you're not doing something, you should be starting to look at this and look at that. Because sometimes it depends. Sometimes the front end can be more complicated than the back end. It all depends on really what you're trying to do. But yeah, you're right with that strategy, I guess.
Exactly. Okay, so it's given us just a Hello World contract. And there should be a Hello World test. Oh, this is the first time that I'm doing Foundry Forge with Codex. So we're learning together.
Cool. So what does Foundry Forge do?
As Foundry is like Hard Hat. It's a local testnet environment that you can create your smart contracts with and test them locally before you deploy them to testnet and mainnet. It's very important to test your contracts locally.
So you wouldn't go straight to testnets? You test locally?
No. I don't want to just deploy to testnet. And getting testnet tokens is sometimes cumbersome
Fair enough.
because you have to have, well, on some faucets are where you can get testnet tokens. Some of these faucets require that you have a certain amount of mainnet tokens. So you have to have actual crypto before you can get the play crypto.
Yeah, I was actually for one of the faucets that I looked at for Polygon for this, it was actually like, no, you need to have ETH in this wallet. And I'm like, really? Just to get testnet stuff? And they're like,
Yes.
yep. So
Yeah,
it's a bit crazy.
Yeah.
I guess it reduces spam on the network, but I guess the whole point of testnet is it just, you know what I mean, order fund, give me
Yeah.
10,000. Like, what's the point now? Because also the cool thing about testnet is you actually don't need to share any of your credentials to get funding. And when you want to deploy it, you could just deploy it anywhere. So basically you could be on a secondary machine where you don't have access to your crypto or your wallets. And that's the way crypto is supposed to be designed. But clearly that's not the overarching idea they want to go for. Like, don't go for security. Store all your wallets on your cell phone or your machine. It's actually kind of counterintuitive, don't you think? Because if the whole idea is that, you know, you're supposed to be secure and not store anything anywhere, like, why would they then request that you actually have money in your wallet to get testnet tokens?
Yeah. Okay, so let's check back. So this guy, is he still thinking?
Yeah, I think on that note, I think you're going to have, different accounts, right? You're going to have, you're going to have your long-term savings account. You're going to have your milk money account, right? So the majority of your money should be, all offline, cold storage, but you should always have a few dollars, for lunch money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does actually. So it does kind of make sense, but it depends on what you're trying to do. Because if you do need, like, let's say if it's an obscure currency, then to do all the transactions to actually get the testnet tokens, you know what I mean? It becomes a headache because then you have to go onto an exchange, you got to swap, you've got to then possibly go onto another exchange, and then you got to swap again, and then you finally get the coin you need.
It's a smart way to force you to buy into their, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to be honest, but I agree. Like, you should just kind of leave it open to everybody to test. That's going to drive adoption faster than, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's why would I go through the headache of trying to get your token?
Right. If I don't know what I can do with it.
Yeah, exactly. And also I don't know whether I need it. And the ease of basically, like, don't make me spend 40 minutes trying to get tokens when I could be spending 40 minutes developing. So
Exactly. Yep. You're right.
But yeah, to a certain extent, the buy-in option is kind of mandatory, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I get it from their standpoint too, because I would call it. I bought this book yesterday. It was called "Skin in the Game," and
Okay.
I think that's kind of
Nassim Taleb.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, big fan of his. But
Cool.
but yeah, I think that's the idea. If you're not actually holding their token, or you really actually, you know what I mean. But you can be doing it for a lot of other people other than yourself too. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know.
No, I get it. Like, I think it's so he has some very interesting concepts, and I like his analytics in terms of statistics and stuff like that. He's really on point. Like, he works at MIT, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like,
Not
after
sure.
you, yeah, after he worked for the big banks and stuff. But he's got some really cool courses on statistics and understanding it, and like
Oh, yeah?
it's simple. Yeah, like he's really good. Like, all of his
I read
stuff is
his,
about big data. So, well, not big
yeah.
data, like large. It's
Yeah.
what are the thing about numbers and stuff?
I
Yeah.
like the strategical kind of takeaways. I read Anti-Fragile and Black Swan by him.
Yeah. Are there 5 books in that series, right?
I don't know. I don't think those are series, to be honest.
No, it's a series.
The,
All of them basically expand on specific points in stuff. Fooled by randomness, and
Mhm.
then there's another one. Oh yeah, this other bit of something. Like, they're pretty cool. Like, I've read all of them. And they have a lot of, you can extrapolate a lot of interesting things. And his story is also pretty cool. So he was
Mhm.
one of the dudes at a bank or something. Yeah, I can't remember his story. It's been a while. But like, the stuff it's very interesting to look at.
I get confused with him and Dan Ariely, actually.
Okay. Yeah, no. Sorry, with who?
Dan
Dan Ariely?
Ariely? Yeah.
Okay, I don't know his stuff. Dan Ari. Maybe. Let's see. What did he write?
Oh, I'd have to hear it.
I have not read any of his stuff. I
Oh,
don't think so.
I think you'll be familiar with him. Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, I'm gonna take a look, and then yeah, but it's interesting stuff. So I don't know. Basically, like, Nassim is more focused on the law of large numbers, and a whole bunch of other statistical oddities, and then also looking at heuristics and how we form opinions about things and have attachments to
Mhm.
judgments that we make.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that's the really interesting thing. But yeah, and then he goes off into some other random rants about weird stuff, like why you should carry your own luggage and drink, what's it, Muscavat or something, the funny wine that he likes.
Moscato.
But Moscato, that's the one. Ah, yeah, you're the barman, so of course you would know it. It's Moscato.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Yeah. Not sure I remember
Cool.
that story, but yeah, I just saw Dan Ariely. Yeah, definitely some parallels. He wrote Predictably Irrational, The Honest Truth About Dishonesty,
Okay, that one I
Dollars to
remember.
Cents, Misbelief, Payoff. Yeah, there's definitely some parallels to these guys. Yeah.
Okay, no, fair enough. Yeah, no, I need to reread it. I'm currently stuck on a leadership phase, so it's
Oh, yeah?
kind of annoying.
Who do you
Yeah,
like there?
so I'm currently listening to Jocko Willink. So
Yep,
his
absolutely.
stuff, yeah, his stuff is pretty
Hoorah.
cool. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I really like the way he presents the stories in a very interesting way, where the stakes are more serious, and then he
Mhm.
like chills it down
Mhm.
to like business examples. But
Right.
if you actually look at like what he's trying to extrapolate and like how he's actually trying to explain things to you, you can get a better sense of things. Like, I don't know. For me, it's been interesting looking at that stuff. Like, instead, like, for an example with this, like, cover and move. So basically, you could actually, before you moving on to the next thing, you need to make sure that the last thing is kind of done. There are processes in place to keep it continuing to move forward. So with this, we've got an AI. We can task it with something. We can push it on continually with that task, and then we can move to the next thing, and then come back sporadically and chop and change like that if you have 2 models running at the same time. Or it could be like, can you expand the system to the point where it's solving the needs, and then put in individuals that can actually maintain the system while you're moving forward. So that's that whole
Yeah.
cover and move mentality. And it's like,
Yeah, absolutely. Decentralized command was one of the key takeaways I took from him.
Yeah.
And that's what you were just saying there. Can I put a guy in here to take over this? You know what I mean? Because boots
Yeah.
on the ground is better than, you know what I mean, guys that are, 1,000 miles from the battlefield, right?
Yeah, true. Well, I think for me it's just like, yeah, applying those tactics and actually like thinking about them, because like, yeah, decentralized command, and then what like decentralized command actually means like letting someone else take ownership of the
Mhm.
strategy. and letting them come up with the plan so that you don't have to, which is also letting AI run free and do its things. And that gives you that 1,000-mile, that what's it, the ability to see things from a higher point of view, a higher vantage point, so you can see the holes in the plan instead of being stuck in the weeds of make this program work. Like
I
run
would
this
say-
thing, and yeah,
Yeah, not 1,000 mile stare. I think what you're trying to say is more strategical as opposed to tactical.
it's a bird's eye view, basically, is what I was trying to say.
yeah.
But that's why I got that 1,000-mile and bird's eye view
Yeah.
kind of mixed up.
Yeah. He's big on the strategy as opposed to, you know what I mean?
Mm.
As opposed to tactical, you know, like, yeah.
So I don't know, but in terms of leadership, there's like a couple of interesting guys.
Oh.
Like
Goggins is good too.
Goggins is pretty cool, but I actually dig Shoe Dogs. Like Shoe Dogs is a very interesting story of
Phil
leadership.
Knight?
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And then
story.
there's the I also like biographies. So there's the guy, it's not Asimov, it's some other dude, Isaac something, whatever.
Isaac
it's called.
Asimov.
It is as Isaac Asimov.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's Asimov.
Yeah, but his books are also really good.
He's a sci-fi writer, right?
No, he writes books on biographies like Einstein, Steve Jobs,
Yeah.
a whole bunch of them. And those books are fairly relevant, in my opinion. So is like Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett's stuff is pretty cool as well. You know, the leader that leads leaders. So because he basically is surrounded by CEOs, like he basically manages the leaders that are leading all these other entities, and not just
Right.
normal leaders, you know what I mean? Leaders above the leaders. So like, yeah, it's a very interesting take looking at his stuff. He hasn't written anything in a while, actually. Buffett. Well, he doesn't write. He gets other people to extrapolate and do stuff for him. But yeah.
I think he's kind of called it quits, to be honest. I mean, he's up there.
Nah, he's still there. I think I checked the other day, like there was a story about him still rocking it. So it was actually just his market sentiment. So, and like there was a whole thing about him being in cash and just waiting for something to go down. And so I was reading that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. People were speculating it was less that he was getting older than more that he just, you know, he didn't see an opportunity in the market. Right, like you said, sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah,
you
true.
know, we're massively overvalued.
True. But I think it was also like it possibly is that he's just, I don't know, I don't think he's over it. I think he just loves the game way too much. Because then what was his partner name? Was it Charlie something?
Munger?
Yeah, Charlie Munger. Like, yeah, because that guy unfortunately passed away. But like it didn't really change much. You know what I mean? He's just carrying on doing his thing. So I guess he's just gonna carry on and do his thing. So
I think that's what keeps these guys going. I forget the statistic now, but you know, a large percentage of people actually die, you know, shortly after retiring.
yeah,
You know, they just, you know, they don't have a purpose, or if their
It's 5 years.
spouse dies. Yeah.
Like it's literally 5 years within after retirement, your life expectancy drops radically.
Right.
So, yeah.
But
But it's not only spouse though. Yeah.
This is sorry guys, this is interesting. So the ID the ID number, the identity number on the image,
Yeah.
is 830310. So it should be the 10th of March, but the date of birth is the 7th of August, 1975.
That is pretty cool, actually. Well, that's the whole point of messing with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what do we? So I'm gonna have to change this guy to 75. 807. If I do that, then everything lines up. Oh, and it's a female. I don't know how that.
Just go up
maybe
to the
they-
top. Is it female on the card?
That doesn't. I don't know.
That's got an M for male. So yeah, that kind of fails.
It's just, yeah. Anyways, so the quality of extraction has improved dramatically.
Are you doing both of them at the same time now?
Doing standard and the MRZ as well.
Okay, nice.
What was this one?
9 December 20. No,
64.
19th of Jan, wasn't it? 17th.
In
Yo, I need better glasses, dude.
extract. It's going, okay, so this section exports, well, extracted all the text that I could find. And then we split it out. And okay, that matches. And Mary Jane, Jane Mary. Okay, that's my fault. Mary Jane, true. And then finally, we've got some data here. So we can use this with our contract. And on the contract side, we've got a Hello World script that was created, Hello World smart contract. And we can actually run the test with that, and that passes on the test. So we can hook it up tomorrow to get this hooked up. Yeah, I think we got done quite a lot.
Okay, cool.
We've improved the quality of the OCR extraction, which was one of my issues that I had. I wonder if this one will work. Let's see. It might be too vague. It's got all the other text. I will prep my ID tomorrow so we can see what it looks like with the actual ID. Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, I'm curious about what are we gonna. So we've got 3 days left. Are we gonna be coding today? That means tomorrow and the day after, or are we going to be coding for one more day?
So tomorrow we should be wrapping up. We should be creating the actual attestation. So it's the record with your over 18. We have to put that on testnet on testnet. Test that locally. Then finish up the verification side. So when you give your address, then it goes and checks that you are over 18. And then we have to think about a demo script. How we're going to demo this. That will be the day after, will be the demo. And then, yeah, maybe we can wrap up sooner, but it's just the demo left, an actual presentation.
Okay, cool.
So it's actually quite quick. Then hook up these pages to get them to work. So this OCR page is a little scratch page where we can figure out how to do the actual OCR extraction. And then that's what we'll have to implement over here. And then gateway. We can also go over these pages to see if we still want these pages in the final product or not. And then also change if we feel that we need to change them. But the crux for today was getting quality data from the IDs and starting the setup for Forge so that we can get the smart contracts going. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot. Like, really appreciate you helping us get all of this going and get so far, because I think we're like pretty much almost done now.
Yeah, we could have probably finished last week. If I have to be honest, but yeah, no, this is cool. This is steady pace.
Okay, nice.
Steady pace, yeah.
But does it generally take this long? Because like essentially we like blitz through it. I'm feeling like, you know what I mean? We could have done this in a day.
Well, in an actual environment, yes, we could have. We probably could have been done by now. If it was an actual day, we could have done the whole site. We could have deployed it live to an actual domain. We could have maybe even deployed to our, well, maybe not mainnet, but definitely testnet. We can get it there. Yeah, no, for sure. It's a small enough project to get done in a day.
Fair enough. Okay, cool. And then
Um,
what do you think of, well, let's see when we get to the end of actually like how winnable this solution would be. Because I'm actually curious to see like, yeah, like how possible it is. Do you want to pass it on to a judge or two and see what they think as well? Or should we actually try and get a judge in and say, hey, what do you think of our stuff?
I think
Like, see
after
if they give a fail or not.
I think after we've went through the app and use it ourselves, I think then we can then check, okay, is it worthy of judging yet? Or
Okay, no, fair enough,
do
fair enough.
we still need to work on it?
Yeah,
Because I'm not, I'm not touching it after hours. So this is what it is.
no, fair enough. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna say goodnight for the night, and then we will chat tomorrow.
Cool. Thanks,
Cool.
guys.
Cheers, guys. Enjoy your night.
Cheers.
Where's this thing?